Picture this, you enter a room full of the world's richest people, and together, they have more money than half the world. Here's the question. Is globalization supposed to connect people, or is it making things worse? Are the systems behind globalization broken in some way? Do global trade systems give an advantage to rich people?
That's an interesting question, Michelle. In the past, globalization was seen as good for everyone. It was supposed to help all people. Keynes thought more trade would make everyone rich. But a new study shows something different since the 1980s. The income of the top 1% has increased a lot. Is this a problem with our global systems, or is it because of old social and economic rules?
That's important, Guy. During the Industrial Revolution, we saw the same thing where the economy grew, but not for everyone. A famous paper by Piketty shows that sometimes capital returns grow faster than the economy, making inequality worse. Are our current policies repeating past errors and not learning from history?
Technology also plays a part in globalization, Ryan. It was supposed to give everyone a chance, but now it seems to help the rich more. An MIT study says automation mostly affects low-income jobs, making the gap bigger. Are we missing the dangers of tech progress? And what can we do to fix this?
These points bring up another question. If globalization helps the rich get richer, do we need to change the system? How do we make sure globalization helps everyone? Could new global rules with different cultural and economic ideas be a solution that balances growth and fairness? Let's look closely at how globalization affects the economy. Today, there's a huge gap between rich and poor. The richest 2,000 people have more money than 4.6 billion of the poorest. Does globalization make this worse, or is there more going on that we don't see?
That's a big difference, Michelle. History shows that globalization can cause inequality. After World War II, economies grew a lot because of trade. But things changed in the 1980s. A report from the IMF shows that globalization and inequality grew together, especially in rich countries. Do policies help the rich more than workers in this global world?
You are right, Guy. Let's talk about financialization when economies depend more on financial markets. A Harvard study showed that in the last 40 years, in places that focus on finance, wages stopped growing for many. This backs the idea that when profits grow more than the economy, inequality stays. Do today's trade rules help keep these systems that stop fair wealth sharing?
Yes, Ryan. Technology and globalization work together and make inequality worse. Technology should help everyone, but a report says automation makes more work but takes away jobs from low and middle earners. This makes the people who own technology richer. Shouldn't our systems make sure technology helps everyone equally and not just the wealthy?
Great points, everyone. If globalization and technology bring more inequality, maybe we need new rules. Can we change global systems to respect different norms and help all grow equally? Or is the system too deep, needing completely new ideas to mix fairness with progress? Let's look at a big contradiction. Some studies say globalization should help everyone, but reality is different. Did you know that even though the global economy doubled since the 1980s, over 2 billion people live on less than 3 a day? Why is there such a big difference? Is globalization's system broken?
That's a strong point, Michelle. After the Bretton Woods Conference, the world economy grew through open trade and cooperation, meant to help everyone. But a World Bank report shows that recently, the rich countries benefit more. Are globalization's promises too big, or is it just poorly done? Maybe both, the system and how different economies see it. What do you think?
Guy, your point is important. The 2008 financial crisis showed this well. Globalization linked economies, but did not have a good backup plan. Studies found that banks got help, but normal people faced cuts, making wealth gaps bigger. Are we relying too much on systems that help the rich over the world's people? And what about companies avoiding taxes, which takes away important resources from poor countries? Shouldn't we fix this difference too?
Ryan, let's add technology. Globalization says it brings equality, but tech makes the gap bigger. An Oxford study says AI and automation could replace 47 of jobs. This is not just future talk, it's happening now. Should global systems set up protections against job losses to stop gaps from growing? This also makes us think about changing work and value in a tech world. Could universal basic income help share wealth better?
There's a bigger question. If globalization and tech lead to inequality, do we need new ideas? Can we think of global rules to share wealth fairly, or do we need new systems? How can we balance progress with fairness worldwide? Maybe looking at different economic ideas like donut economics could help. How can we add different cultural wisdom to these systems to make sure they are fair and lasting? Here's an amazing fact to think about. In 2019, billionaires got 2.5 billion richer every day, but almost half of the world was living in poverty. This makes us ask if globalization is supposed to share opportunities. Why is there such a big difference? Is it broken, or is there more going on?
That's an interesting point, Michelle. Let's look back a little. Trade deals like NAFTA were supposed to help North America's economies. But the Economic Policy Institute says that jobs were lost in U.S. factories, making money gaps bigger. Do these deals really help business owners more than workers? Were they meant to help everyone, but just didn't work out?
Guy, what you say matches financial globalization trends. A study from Cambridge University found that financial rules changed in the 80s mainly helped people with lots of money. These changes made economies focus on assets, so house prices went up a lot, while many wages did not. Could today's financial rules be making this gap worse instead of fixing it?
Ryan, taking your idea further, technology helps globalization, but can also make the wealth gap bigger. A McKinsey study says that automation might replace up to 800 million jobs by 2030. Is there a danger that without proper controls, technology will keep helping skilled workers more than unskilled ones, making rich people richer? And how can we stop technology from only helping a few people?
These concerns are important. If globalization and technology really increase inequality, do we need to change our basic ideas? Can we create global systems that combine growth with fairness, maybe by using ideas like circular economies or learning from indigenous peoples for sustainable growth? Are we ready to change everything and rethink how wealth is shared? And if we are, what are the first steps we should take? Look at this surprising fact. In 1990, the richest people owned 18 of the world's money. By 2015, they owned over 20. Is globalization making money fair for everyone, or is it giving more to rich people? Is there something wrong with the way global systems work that makes this happen?
That's an interesting fact, Michelle. Let's think about it more. In the past, globalization tried to make economies bigger, like what the European Union did to make trade and movement free. But a study found some places did much better than others. Is globalization helping places that were already doing well? Are the rules meant to help rich countries, or is it just how they turned out?
Guy, more on that topic. The problem isn't just about areas. At the company level, some big companies avoid paying taxes. This means poorer countries miss out on important money. Financial globalization can make inequality worse by sending money to places with low taxes instead of local businesses. How can we make sure the rich don't get richer while others miss out? Maybe stricter tax rules and working together could help, but are countries ready to give up short-term gains for fairness later?
Ryan, it's important to talk about technology here. A report says big tech companies make a lot of money but don't share it with workers. This can create big divides, especially as jobs are automated and require more skills. Is this a new era where tech makes things worse like old capitalism did? Should we have things like tech taxes or a basic income for everyone to fix this?
Everyone's points show we might need to rethink globalization. If global systems naturally cause imbalances, should we question these ideas? Could new economic models like sharing economies give fair access to resources? Or do we need a total change, using history, tech rules, and good governance to fix these issues? We might need to look at models like donut economics, or learn from different cultures for sustainable solutions. How do we create a global setup that really helps everyone grow and succeed?